Today, I'm going to be styling my entryway table in 3 different design themes. The first is a blue and white theme, the second is a light academia theme, and the third design theme is a Parisian chic entryway style. Here is the entryway as it has looked for the past year. It's a small space, so I really only have room for this one furniture piece, my entryway table, which is actually a vintage dresser that I thrifted years ago. It's a very useful furniture piece because it has 4 deep drawers that I use to store my tablecloths and napkins and my seasonal serving platters. The other items in the entryway are practical items. On one side of the door, I have this basket where I keep our reusable shopping bags so we can just grab them as we're heading out the door. I also have my collection of straw hats hanging beside the door. These are the hats that I use for gardening and for when I go on walks. And on the other side of the door, I have our umbrella stand, which holds our umbrellas and also my husband's collection of walking sticks. So I'm ready to have a little fun in this entryway and try our first design style. I cleared off the top of the dresser and I went through the house and collected all of the blue and white items that I had. Since the space is so small, I had to use the stairs as my staging area. So I found some blue and white vases, I found a little tureen, there's a lamp, some assorted bowls, and again, these are just things that I've thrifted over the years that I was using in other parts of the house. I also have a lampshade that I made and a rattan basket. So I start out by putting a crochet doily on the table surface and I add the lamp and also the rattan basket. And I'm just starting to layer things in. I decided that the table lamp was just not the right scale for the vignette that I had planned, so I removed it and I changed it out for this taller lamp. I'm using books to raise the vase and layering in a plate, just trying different things. The little tureen and the bowl goes in. And then I decided to change out the lampshade. I felt that the blue one just went better with the rest of the vignette. I also added some foliage to the vase, just cutting the stems to fit better inside the vase. And here's my supervisor. He's coming to check to see if everything is up to code. He actually did this while I was out in the garden clipping some flowers. I had no idea he had been examining my work until I came back and I looked at the footage that I took. Oops, oh my goodness. That could have been disastrous. So I just cut some roses from the garden, plopped them in that little vase. And here is the finished product. This is my blue and white themed entryway table. I think it turned out really nice. I don't have a large collection of blue and white porcelain yet. I do add to it whenever I'm thrifting. I'm looking for one of those gorgeous ginger jars, but those are very expensive. So I'm holding out for one that I actually don't feel too guilty spending money on. But overall, I'm very pleased with the effect. My next design theme is the light academia theme, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a softer, brighter version of the dark academia aesthetic. It centers on intellectual and scholarly pursuits and displays items related to classic literature and music, the natural sciences, and ancient history. Dark academia uses dark and moody colors, while light academia uses a softer color palette. And because the walls in my foyer are light, I decided that the light academia was a better fit. So I collected several things from around my house. I have some brass, I have vintage books, I have a globe, I also have a bust and some marble lamps. So I started out by putting a crochet doily on the tabletop, and I love using this rattan basket. It's so versatile. I also brought in the statue of Mozart and the old globe that I had, and then I decided to change the lampshade on a marble lamp base that I have. So vintage books play a very important role in light academia and dark academia. And fortunately, I have been able to collect quite a few during the years that I've been thrifting. I also have this old magnifying glass that I can style on one of the open books. I grabbed some more busts from other rooms in the house. And then, because I have a little nest on this little, I guess a little serving platter, I add some pheasant feathers. I thought that was a nice touch. Again, this style is all about layers, so I'm layering in just whatever I think would look nice. And this is the final product. I think this one turned out really well. I think it really captured that light academia feel. I have the classical music represented. I have the natural sciences, the globe signifying travel, ancient history. I think everything just works really well together to give that feeling of a space that's been collected through travels and through different purchases in different antique stores and flea markets. So I think it really turned out very nice. The next theme I'm going to try is the Parisian Chic theme. And this is a style that combines classic and modern elements to create this effortless, timeless look. It uses items such as ornate mirrors and architectural features mixed with more modern and minimal decor items. So these are some of the things that I've collected. The peacock lamp, which I always associate peacocks with French chateaus, so I thought that would be a nice element to add. I also gathered some busts. I have this gold tone tray, some neutral books, and again, my little rattan tray, which I like to incorporate into every look. For this particular theme, I did not use anything on the table as far as a runner. Since this is a more minimal style, I thought it would be better just to have the bare wood on the tabletop. I'm adding the peacock lamp. And then I try out the gold tone tray. But after looking at it, I decided that I just didn't like how it looked, so I decided to remove it. And I replaced it instead with a stack of books and this neutral gray vase. I'm playing with the placement of the decor items to see which arrangement is the most pleasing. And then I decide I need to add some greenery to the vase. So I start out by using the same foliage that I used for the blue and white design, but I felt that it was just too drab and I really needed some color. So I grabbed these tulips from my kitchen table and I decided to use those instead, just to inject a little color into the overall design. And this is the final product. So granted, my foyer is not as grand as the inspiration picture that I showed in the beginning, but I feel like I still was able to use some of the elements from that inspiration picture and apply them to my more humble entryway. And I think it still turned out very nice. I used the copper bowl, or the brass bowl rather, with the wood beads, the peacock lamp, the pink tulips complement the gray vase very nicely. And then I have the larger bust and the smaller bust on the stack of books. And I even added this little gold tassel to the key of the dresser. I thought that was a nice touch. So let me know which one of these 3 design styles was your favorite in the comments below.